Hey everybody, here's that replay or that
Five,
a team review I
4,
promised.
3, 2, 1.
And so I noticed on this map we had a lot of hard time with sticking together, sticking tight, having aggressive pushes. And so I think that's going to be the big thing that we need to focus on this upcoming week. Just seeing that a little bit there, we can see we're exposing the barrier before the rest of the team is here. So again, this goes back to just looking at your team, where are people at, and then turning the corner. Countdowns also help with that. We can see two Reinhardt's moved out while the rest of the team moves in. This is a very squishy nugget center. And Junkrat is taking full advantage of that. We also have Sigma shooting in from the side. You know, he's safe with his barrier. And maybe we'll get a hook. Maybe something will happen like that. But it's good that everyone caught up. It's good everyone's safe. Be careful, Mocha. And so it looks like we're resting some barrier. We are good. It's a good rest. So you can see this rest is good because we're still relatively safe. We come out, we initiate. They're chasing Belinda, so we're able to catch them off guard. And we have a really solid push here, but our targets are all over the board. Lillian looks like she was shooting junk. Book went straight for the back for maybe some Sigma. Mercy was in the crew, and Mocha went for the Mercy. And so we're kind of all over the board. Josie's taking the duel with Junk, and Delenda was aiming for some high ground. She ended up running from the... She was caught out over here while everyone else was out there. And so she ended up running. If you run into that again, Delenda, shout out for some help or just call for a pocket or a heal, especially the Brig, because Brig can heal really well at range. And just take that duel. Just fight that Lucio off. And definitely hide. It's okay to play near to your team and then play off of them. If you notice, we did get that pick, but we're still 5v5 until Delenda gets back. So also a tip for Josie too, you work really, really well on off angles and flanks. So the closer you are to the point, to the scrappy brawl, the harder time you're going to have. You're going to need to be porting out, you're going to be needing to get out of the fight. And so Sombra ends up turning a 6v6 into a temporary 5v6 for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and then again to a 6v6. And then she teleports out and rinses and repeats. So you end up, if you do that too much, you create a disadvantage for your team. Specifically on Sombra. Just for her kit. I like how the two tanks are working together. The two heals are working together. And empathy, if you need to, call for help as well. Claim the high ground. I like what I'm seeing. Good job.
Get through this.
And then tanks, good job covering each other still. Lenda, get those shots out. Oh. So now at this point we're starting to fall. We got two tanks and a heal. I think maybe a retreat was called? I'm not sure. We ended up losing Delenda. And then they ult to finish it off. And then that stagger right there. If you ever find yourself like that, empathy, feel free to use the ledge. Yeah, almost. And so we'll rally for this next fight. We're starting a little early, getting that barrier damage in a little early, a little bit of threats here. Keep in mind, they have some very high damage, and this is the stagger. This is the limbo line I'm talking about. Same as the last fight. We have this long train of engagement, and we want to turn a corner as a crew, as a team, rather than turning a corner one by one by one by one. When that barrier comes out, it's go time. So unless your crew is ready book, that barrier's not coming out. So if you notice, now we're actually starting the real push. Everyone's rallied. We have some wounded people. We have a pick from Hog, from Lillian. So we're in a really good setup. Josie's babysitting the res. There's one major issue with this push. At the bottom left, we have 600 barrier. Which means 600 barrier is essentially trying to main tank with a Sigma. So we push, we have all of this damage coming through, we see the rockets, we see they're intentionally trying to barrier break. They're burning cooldowns to break this barrier. They see the cracks, it's very possible. And it breaks. We don't even get to the choke. And we still have a barrier to contend with, but it breaks too. And so we back up. Now we have a broken push. Now we've pushed, we've said, oh my gosh, we've messed up. Now we're backing up. People don't know. We have ults going out. We have Mocha caught out. All kinds of stuff's going down. Mocha's trying to run. The window gets kind of half value because now the barrier's back out. Diva flew away. But she came back. We have defensive abilities burning for this window. We can't utilize it now. We can't do anything with it. Imagine if we pushed with full barrier. We have a full barrier push. It breaks maybe later, or it doesn't break at all. The window comes out. Now we're directly supporting the window, and we can use it on an aggressive diagonal. So this, by the way, for windows, always place them in diagonals, never in squares. Always cut the square in half. So if we put it here, this is our line of sights. These are our line of sights that we get. Like that. If we put it out here in a diagonal, now these are the line of sights that we get. In addition to walking out, now all of a sudden we can see that whole other side. So diagonals are extremely, extremely useful for Windows. So let's assume the barrier carried us forward, and now our Reinhardt's on the point. Now the Hog is too. We got people that are able to take off angles. We have full use of the window. Defensive abilities that come out from the tanks. They are now getting hit by Reinhardt. They are now getting hooked. They are now getting disabled so that those defensive abilities aren't useful. And so a lot of benefit comes simply from changing the value of the barrier when we pushed. I like the off-angle hit. We got 2 picks based off of hooks. It's beautiful, beautiful. And we can see the split going on again. We have people wanting to push forward, we have people wanting to be defensive, and it causes 3 squishies to get ulted. And a split on the team where we're pulled back. Lillian is still going flank, hard flank, but we can't support her because we pulled back. We're regrouping. Everyone's kind of on their own clock, on their own watch. And so we end up having a 2v whatever and a group that's dying to Genji Blade. And so with the Genji Blade, you know, the hack is really the only thing that we have to really disable that until Brig gets there. When Brig is there, we have boops. If we were together, we have a shield bash, we have a boop, we have rally, we have hook, you know, we have hammer going out, or shielding other people from healing Genji. We have the hack as long as the hack isn't in the brawl. We have Delenda as long as Delenda isn't in the brawl. And so there's a lot we can do if we're together. But the moment we split and we go to the winds and we have multiple flanks like this, people can be exploited to their weaknesses. Keep going. They're looking for Sombra. I hear him shooting. And so there is a barrier. I'm gonna rewind a little bit. So we can see the limbo line effect is happening. Josie's good out there with the flank. Delenda's setting up for an off angle, but we have to turn this corner a 6. Imagine if we turn this corner right now with Ryan and we saw a lone Junkrat out there. Vulnerable to hook, vulnerable to whip, vulnerable to empathy shots. Empathy with good accuracy and Josie on the flank. This Junkrat should be dead right now. But we have to turn the corner together. And you can see how it kind of, so Book gets kind of pushed to the right. You know, we had a mine, he's half health. That's a ton of ultimate for Junkrat. I didn't check his previous ultimate. I know he has it right now. Which fully exposes the backline to getting hit. Whenever we do these laterals like this, when we're like, oh, we're going forward to the choke, never mind, we're juking to the right, you're gonna lag your team behind. Your team is shadowing your movements. And so until we get really good, which is a hard thing to do, at moving and shooting and keeping your screen blue and literally moving like this and shooting whatever you see, we're gonna have a hard time with the shadow play, with this tail. And so just keep in mind, guys, there is a way to follow Reinhardt where you are perfectly with him all the time, no matter how he moves, especially because he's snared. But at the same time, Ryan, just be weary of wiggling and not being clear and confident on where you're going. If you try to figure out where you're going out in the middle and you delay and you stagger, yeah, your team will catch up to you, but at the same time, you're losing your barrier to make that thought process happen. It's better to, okay, I want to move here. Oh, I can't move here. Well, let's find cover. Or, oh, let's swing wide. You know, have something you want to do and then do it. Never turn a corner and be like, I'm gonna go this way. Oh, maybe not. You know, don't have that hesitation. Pick something, do it. If it doesn't work out, a lesson for next time. It's totally cool. So we can see we get the early hook. Almost. Oh, darn. That would have been cool. And we're kind of backing up.
I've got you in my sights.
A lot of us fall back. So even, and I would put this to the fact that they got juked, or that the barrier wasn't with them and whatever else, with just being exposed. They feel like they're exposed to damage. They're getting some hits. The barrier's over here. And so in their mind, they're saying, I'm in danger. I need to take cover. Sure, this is a thing. But we ended up backing up all the way back here. So it may not have been, I need to take cover. The idea may have been, I'm in danger. I need to back up. That seems more likely. Which caused a split. Which caused some more hesitation. You know, we're wiggling. We have people going in. We have 2 ults going out. Delenda was back here with her ult. And so we have a checkmate situation. We have a situation where, you know, Delenda's back here. We can shoot the Mercy. We can clear the high ground. We can kill both healers. Josie's going in with the ults to get all the hacks in. The ults are already out, so that's unfortunate. But we don't have anyone to clear this tire except for Lamp. And then too, if you guys ever hear tire, definitely immediately split from each other. I know that's a lot going on right now with all the ults. But just keep that in mind too. If you ever hear the Junkrat ult, split. That way he only gets one of you guys. Especially if your DPS are doing flanks, because they won't be able to get that tire for you. The best you got is a Lamp and Mocha and Lillian trying to pop that tire. So the tire gets 2. Delenda, try not to give up high ground with an ult. But it looks like we did get a couple but at this point I think it may be too late.
Nerf this and help us something you later. All systems checked out.
Okay. Alright. So I think that might be game or round. So let's go to the next one. So we have a little change up here. We got Symmetra going. And that's about it. And then for them, we have a Reaper to contend with. And so we'll have to be careful with Reaper getting in the group and 2-shot and squishies. And then 2 for the anti-tank that he brings. And so we run into, you notice they're split. So we're flanked on the left, we're flanked on the right, and 3 on the point. Anti-tank to meet our Rhine, along with a flank from Junk, which is extremely, extremely dangerous. He could 2-shot the entire backline right now if he wants. That's left click with a mine. Mocha's dead unless she barriers and gets a good barrier. Which is hard with the barrier. Like, even if Mocha jumps, the AoE goes through the barrier. It's a very finicky barrier. Any of these other backlines, this is a grenade and a mine. All of you guys would very much be dead, or at least 1 or 2 of you. That is a death flank right there. And that's exactly what he does. And he missed his other one. So just be very careful that they're wrapping around you. The weaknesses of Brawl are flanks and high ground. And so always play to those 2 weaknesses. You have to claim the high ground. You have to clear your flanks. You have to do something. If you play down the middle all the time and they're flanking, you're going to get wrecked. Unless, like, they totally mess it up. Good hack, so he can't fade, scares him out. And you can see this whole time we're trying to push. Book wants to push. He wants to take the point. He wants to go down the middle. But look at all of this fire coming in from the sides. Constant pressure. Constant pressure. And this heal beam is about to change into a nuke beam. He's going to be shooting nukes into your backline, and they have nothing to stop it. Far from taking the duel and trying to dodge all the bullets. Or the things. Beautiful teleport from Reaper. If you play Reaper, this is a wonderful teleport spot.
The objective is,
and I think at this point it ends up being checkmate. For Delenda, the right clicks are really, really powerful on skinny targets. Simply because the ball is so big. So if you ever get a Reaper in your face, it's much easier to 2-shot him with a couple right clicks. Or maybe a 2.5. Than it is to beam them down. Simply because it's hard to have that 100% accuracy to charge with the beam. Nice, good picks. So we have a strong start, weak barrier. We're pushing together. We got the 6-stack rolling, and we're up 1. And we're up a very strong 1, because that Junk has been the one who's been hurting us a lot. So that hook should be ready here in a bit. That flank happened, so we have a Reaper flank. It was called out. There's a couple of things we can do. We can turn and kill the Reaper, or we can keep pushing until he catches up, because he's not a tracer. He's not, he's not super fast. So if he stalls us, he's buying time for Junkrat. Good kill. Good push. And we gotta keep our people safe. So that hammer can be a big deal. But if we are pushing against, and these are very, very strong DPS-y tanks, a Sigma and a Rocketing Diva, and maybe a damage boosting Mercy, I don't know. Lucio can definitely do some headshot damage. But we have to be careful when we're entering a choke. This is a super vulnerable, anytime it's a funnel, super vulnerable. This is a funnel. Sigma is getting massive ult charge. Diva shooting rockets, massive ult charge. It's all splash. It's hitting everybody. And so we lose the ult economy if we give them ult like that. So be sure to right click your people. And then push. Get in there. And split up with that tire. Still really good hooks. That's what's been giving us the advantage. That's Hog's role in this comp. We can poke, and a hook will give us the advantage. Once that brawl starts, get in there though. Wiggling on a defensive, wiggling on the point like that, just go. You make yourself the target. People are out, they can take cover if they need to. It's brawl time. Once you get in their face, it's brawl time. And brawl doesn't mean necessarily use your hammer. Brawl means, so I'll talk about this in a second. Brawl means everyone else is your hammer. Get them in their face. Get your team in their face. Let Mocha hit them. Let empathy shoot them. Let your barrier be the thing that enables your healers to flip to DPS. And then when it's safe, when you can afford it, and when it gives you advantage, use your hammer. That's right. So yeah, basically we're trying to rally, so they moved up, and we're trying to rally in their face. So we have a lot of spam coming our way. We have rocks, we have Sigma, we have Junk, Diva a little bit with her rockets, but mostly those others. And it's causing chaos for us to rally. Which means we're not in a good spot to rally, we should back up. Taking cover is cool. Backing up is the better option. Find a safe spot, back up until you're ready, and then go. And they can... Oh, that was close. So you can see we got all kinds of chaos going on. We are no longer a 6-stack. People just getting picked off, trying to rush to the point. We got a double flank going, but our front line collapses. And it all originated from trying to rally in their line of sight. We can take cover all we want, it's just going to make little tweaks on their end to take advantage. I can show that real quick. So we can see we're already taking damage here. We're trying to rally. And we're still like playing in the choke, rallying. We're still playing this poke game, and we're still not ready. And now we're finally a 6-stack. The Linda is back. Now we're ready to go. Actually, no, we're not. And you can see why. We're fighting. We're in the middle of this brawl, middle of this fight. We can try to get picks. So this is an okay fight, as long as we are doing it in a way that enables Roadhog, enables people to get picks. If we're just trying to take space for the sake of space and dying because of it and gaining a disadvantage, we aren't playing with a purpose. We aren't playing with a, okay, I'm pushing forward so Roadhog could get a hook. We're simply just trying to take ground and then recover from mistakes. So an alternative to all of this, waiting for Delenda to come back. Let's see, did I go back far enough? Let's go a little more. I think it started earlier. Yeah. So this is, you know, you can see on the meter here, we're moving back chunks. We're moving back like 20 seconds, if not more. So Delenda's out in the front. This is someone we can save. We're hanging out, waiting, watching her die in front of us. That doesn't have to happen. We can save her. Not only would we have saved her, but we likely would have gotten a pick out of it too, because we have Hog. And we have Josie to right-click anything that would have, you know, stopped the pick. And maybe that's what caused the fight. Like, we still want to fight, because, you know, seeing a teammate die in front of us.
Suiting up.
We want some vengeance.
I'll show them.
Yeah, those... It's literally all Junkrat. And that's hook potential too. And if you guys ever see Sigma fly out towards you for Lillian, that's a counter, your hook counters. The ult. And so, anyway, yeah, it's unfortunate, but we have some things to work on. We got to work on the splits, the staggers, the initiations on Limbo Line, and then pushing with intent with that barrier, and then also for the rest of the crew, sticking with that barrier until you're ready to split. Also being patient, working off of each other. So if you find yourself in a duel, ask for help. If you see someone shooting somebody, assist them in shooting that target. You don't have to, in theory, you never have to call out targets. You never have to do all of these things that are shouted out as good play, you know, that create a lot of clutter on the comms. In the end, all you really have to do is look at your teammates and say, oh, they are shooting that person, I will assist them. Oh, they're running away from the enemy, I will assist them. And y'all have heard me say that before. Your entire chain of decision making changes with the information that you have, and the information that you give yourself is simply going to be based on who you prioritize in your mind as important. And the way the game teaches you is the enemy is important. You need to look at the enemy at all times and be looking for the enemy at all times. Oh my gosh, where's my team? So where's the lie? What's the false? Where's the falsehood? Is the enemy really the most important thing to be looking out for? So I leave you guys with that. Awesome rounds. I know we had some good fights and some good brawls, and I saw a lot of good plays with early picks and getting advantages. So well played, everybody. Hang in there. Keep looking out after each other. Keep brainstorming some fun stuff. Y'all have a good one.